Well, greetings, Day Spring, on this beautiful Sunday afternoon. I'd like to extend a happy birthday to Carolyn Brockett, who is celebrating today. And then we also have another birthday coming up in a few days. Mary Jane Wyma is having a special day then too. So congratulations to each of these two dear ladies. Well, my Linda will have surgery this Thursday to remove her two deep brain electrodes and the battery pack in her chest. I'll discuss more about when and how it all goes later in the week, but the reason that we're having to do this is because one of the electrodes became infected, and so when that happens, just to prevent risk to the patient, they have to remove the entire system and let her heal, and then we'll talk about when we, if and when we do the reinstallation of the equipment, the hardware. Oh yes, our granddaughter Blair was out riding her horse along with her husband on his horse, and apparently her horse saw another group of horses and took off in a dead run and bucked Blair off. She landed on her butt. However, these x-rays, MRIs, and studies they took indicated she had multiple fractures in her pelvis. That happened yesterday, so Blair had surgery about 9 o'clock this morning, Sunday morning. They put in the plates and the pins, and so Blair will be off her feet for at least a month for the healing, and so Blair has very deep faith, and she'll need that in abundance, which she has. But I think physically and mentally it's going to be really hard for her to be off her feet, away from her job and away from her little 9-month-old daughter Ruth. So we would ask you to remember Blair as she heals. And I think most of us have learned through either a family member or a friend that hospital visits are really not doable or possible now. In fact, you get your updates by phone from the nurse on the ward or the nurse for the surgeon or whatever the case might be. So it does make it difficult for the patients, and it also makes it really challenging and stressful on the families and friends. So just remember that. Looking ahead here this week to our lesson that we have continuing in the book of Romans, we are probably a few weeks at best away from concluding the book of Romans. And speaking of Romans and maybe politics aside, but we had an important celebration and praise this past week with the passage of the anti-dismemberment abortion bill by the Nebraska unicameral. So thanks to Jim and Joe, and I'm sure Lee Terry and others of you were very proactive in encouraging people to contact their state senators and to participate in the process. That's really what the book of Romans the chapter that we're in right now, 13 for example, 12 and 13 are talking about how do we deal with our leadership, our ruling class, and there is a very clear distinction between even though God has anointed these leaders, we are to be faithful to our faith, and we are to call out the high God and Father, and do what we know is morally and ethically in the best interest of a particular situation, to keep our faith strong and to also support our leaders. So it's a delicate balance, but I thought this was a good example. Anything that you need to share during the week, please let Rita know or give me a call, and we'll be happy to come back and talk to you about that. this next week. And in the meantime, we welcome back Pastor John Peterson as he opens up the book of Romans as we continue. God bless each of you, and we pray for you each evening. We ask you to do the same for us and your friends in Dayspring. And we'll talk to you again in a week. Bye-bye.